first lesson is based on the poem Bilingual Sestina by Julia Alvarez. In order to analyze poetry, we must first find the literary aspects within it. The literary aspects of the poem are the pieces that make up the puzzle. The first term we're going to analyze is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of sounds in a sequence of words, generally consonant sounds. For example, in Bilingual Sestina, in line 2, blonde, blue-eyed, we have the repetition of BL in blonde and BL in blue. Also, in line 8, we have the repetition of WA in wash over me, like warm, island, waters. These are examples of alliteration.
The next term is allusion. An allusion is an indirect reference to often to a person, event, or statement, or theme that serves to enrich the purpose of a work. In Bilingual Sestina, an allusion is found in line 18, the full-blown genie from the bottle Nombra, and it is important because the connotations that a genie carries over from the Arabic tradition in which it is originally found.
The next term that we're going to be talking about is enjambment. Enjambment is the breaking up of a sentence over the course of multiple poetic lines in order to emphasize the importance of certain words. Enjambment contrasts end stop, which is when a sentence ends at one line. In the poem, we have an example of enjambment right here. Sounds of Spanish wash over me. So as you can see, Spanish is the end of the line, but the sentence isn't over until the next line. So it lets us emphasize and question why the author decided to break up the sentence like this.
The next term is form. Form refers to either the general type or the unique structure of a literary work. This specific poem is a sestina, which consists of 6 sestets and a 3-line envoy. The 6 terminal words of the first stanza are repeated in a specific and complex pattern as the terminal words in each of the rest of the stanzas. The 6 terminal words in this poem are sed, English, closed, words, nombres, and Spanish.
The next term in the poem is imagery. Imagery is a language used to convey a visual picture or to represent any sensory experience. Figurative language is used to express abstract ideas in a vivid and innovative way. In Bilingual Sestina, we can see imagery in verse 3 with dawn's early light. Instead of the author simply saying light, she specifies what kind of light and allows us to imagine the early morning light of dawn. Another example is in verse 20, the house of slatted windows. With this phrase, she allows us to imagine and picture the slatted windows through which the light comes in.
The next aspect that we will be speaking about is personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which human characteristics are bestowed upon anything non-human, which can be from something abstract to a physical force to an inanimate object. Personification is found in Bilingual Sestina in lines 15 and 16. How frail a word is when faced with the thing it names. This is personification because the idea of frailty is being bestowed upon the word word.
The next term that we're going to be speaking about is rhyme scheme or rhyme pattern. A rhyme pattern is the pattern of rhyme in a poem or a stanza, typically described by assigning a lowercase letter to each new rhyming sound. For instance, if the words are hat and cat, that would be A, but if you throw in the word cold, that would take on the letter B. In our particular poem, we have a sestina, so the rhyme pattern is predetermined. It goes sed, English closed words nombre Spanish. A, B, C, D, E, F. Then in the next stanza it changes a little bit and it goes Spanish say nombres English words closed, or F, A, E, B, D, C.
Our final term is simile. A simile is a figure of speech that compares two distinct things using the words like or as to link them. An example of simile in our poem can be found in lines 34 and 35, as if the nombres were the outer skin of things, comparing nombres to an outer skin of things using the word as. So we have come to the end of our first lesson and have seen how each literary aspect within a work of poetry comes together to form a unified and cohesive whole. Breaking the poem down in this way is the first step in analyzing the work on a deeper level in order to understand its meaning.